Okay, yo, we're back. We're back. We're back. I'm sorry. Honestly, I don't know what happened. I don't think anything's still connected actually right now. So give me 1 second because I gotta reconnect everything. I just wanted to go back live as quickly as possible. So make sure you like the stream, re-like the stream as you get into the building. We'll be right back in 1 quick second. All right, 1 second. Hold on. All right. I can't begin to tell you how annoyed I am right now. Woo! Bro, I'm so angry right now. Like I don't like my laptop, even my cheap laptop has never crashed. My cheap laptop's never crashed. My $100 laptop never crashes. I buy $1,000 laptop and it crashes. So I tell you what, you can't write the outcome sometimes of things. You just can't. You can't write the outcome sometimes of things. You just gotta let que sera sera. What will be will be. Sometimes you try and be perfect and you just can't. Right. Let me say this. Let me try and get back to this Migos thing, dude. I'm about to chunk this wretched fucking laptop off of my balcony. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. And the keyboard was the first thing that really started. Now different keys are going out on the keyboard. You know, I paid $1,000 for this thing. Well, close, not 1,000. 1,000 sounds a lot better, doesn't it? Let me get back to this thing. Let's talk about moving wrong. Maybe I moved wrong with this purchase. It's been good so far. Yeah, I guess that's how we are, huh? Things are great until they're not, and then we're like, you know what? F this. I'm done. I can't. Oh. Okay. All right. So, let's talk about a few different things, okay? This Migo thing. Let's talk about moving, right? Now, I listed in this title that they're moving wrong without Offset. That's because they are. Now, Offset was the third character of the Migos. He's the one that you're seeing in the videos, or in this video. Let me pause it for a second. Hold on. Let me see if we can get a shot of Offset. No, gosh dang it. 1 second. Okay, Offset's in the middle. That's Cardi B's husband, okay? Now, he's the crazy one of the group. He's the one that goes and flies into the crowd and throws punches. Quite literally, the dude flew into a crowd and threw a punch. Like, he's crazy. For real. Right? While just rapping, yada, 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 just whoof, Superman crowd into a punch. Right? They had a split or a breaking up because apparently, according to the rumors online, Offset smashed Saweetie, which was Quavo's girl at the time. Let me bring up a picture of Saweetie. See, this entire thing is just crazy. Well, we left off on the J Prince situation. This right here, talking about Takeoff. This is where we left off. All right. We could look. I'm gonna look up Quavo and Saweetie. Let me see if they're still together. Let me see if anything actually pops up. So they're talking about the elevator scene in the latest video that Takeoff and Quavo did, which was their song Messy. And of course, everybody's reacting, right? Saweetie, what happened between Offset and Saweetie? Here are the facts. Quavo hints at Saweetie cheating with Offset on new song Messy, right? So this is a sticky situation because the guy who was the muscle for the group ended up leaving the group because of some loyalty issues. And the Migos went on to actually speak about this on an interview that they did with, I forget who it was, but they did an interview, and they were just saying, the guy was like, man, what happened with the Migos? And Quavo was like, well, it was some, loyalties type stuff. We came up a certain way, and the loyalty got broken, and then it wasn't that way anymore, right? And then all the tabloids, all the blogs are saying stories like this. So the tough guy in the group essentially left. And ever since then, I don't think Migos have been moving right, which is why they got caught up in Houston with some random guys that they shouldn't have been around worth the amount of money that they were worth, right? Now, I talked for a second about 6ix9ine having no issues being able to travel and roam in the streets, no problems. Zimmerman, cool, no problems, right? But for whatever reason, the animosity that brothers have, and I've talked about in the past yet again, right? Try and do it. Do this for yourself. If you don't believe what I'm saying, do it for yourself. If you're a bro, if you're a black man, you already know what the deal is. We have a hostility amongst each other, amongst ourselves, right? Even if you just say what's up in the streets to somebody, to a black dude, it's a 50-50 chance. It's a 70-30 chance, 70 being he's not going to be that acknowledging of a high. He's not gonna give you a high back or what's up back. He'll probably just look at you. He might look away. It's a 70% chance he's gonna look at you or look away and not do anything, right? 30% chance I'd estimate he says what's up. So we have this underlying animosity amongst ourselves. Everybody knows that. It's amplified in the rap game. That's why I said, I don't know. I don't think the Migos are really, and I'm not trying to just say it that way because gangster is such like a cliche term. Like anybody can meet their demise and things of that nature. But when you move the way that they moved and make the kind of risks that they were making and take the kind of chances that they were taking, you do amplify your risks, your chances. You do amplify everything in a negative way or light happening as a circumstantial situation or result based off of that environment that you placed yourself in, right? So if you place yourself in hot environments, don't be surprised when you get burnt for the most part. And so I don't know if this was an issue of them going out down to Houston to check in with Jay Prince, because in the hip hop community, you got this thing where you got to check in certain places that you go to and make sure that you're cool with the city people of that city, or the people that run the criminal organizations and the black underground enterprises within that city. And if you're a rapper, once again, you don't have to do this if you do country music or anything, but you have to check in at certain cities and pay certain amounts of money. Was that Dice game a process of him checking in, right? And then things went wrong by the happenstance, and Jay Prince Sr. truly didn't know what was going on? Or did he organize the entire thing knowing that one of the toughest Migos wasn't going to be in the building, which was Offset? Knowing that the potential muscle that would have been firing first and asking questions later, Offset, wasn't going to be in the picture anymore. It was just guys who are more chill and guys who were necessarily not even looking towards their back at the time because they've been the star of the group for so long, meaning Quavo. Right? Now, people went in the situation after they realized that Quavo had got into a scuffle to protect Quavo, which left Offset completely vulnerable and open. Now, I'm not going to get all into different conspiracies right now, but I did take a brief second to look at some conspiracies in regards to this case, and there's a lot of interesting things. I'm not going to lie to you as far as conspiracy goes. The music video Messy that they just saw, I'm not going to pull any of these images or imagery up, but the music video had all kinds of different imageries, and the music video had all kinds of different like signs. For instance, in one of the scenes, Takeoff was standing in front of a skeleton. In the music video, they were shooting dice in the music video, right? And there was a gun on the table. There was a contract on the table as well. There was a lot of stuff where it was like kind of death. Now, it was Halloween, and it took place around Halloween, so I'll kind of give it that, and I'll leave it there, okay? I'll give it that, and I'll leave it there. But there was a lot of interesting tidbits about it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, getting back to this crazy footage, right? Getting back to this crazy footage. It's miraculous that somebody actually had all this footage to begin with. Okay, so that's once again his bodyguard with the gun looking around. It looked like at this time things were already getting tense. You know, yada, yada, yada. They already knew that trouble was in the air, but I guess they had decided not to go, or who knows what it was at this time. Who knows if it was the setup or what was going on. It looks like right around then some shots were fired, and you know, I don't know. It's a mess at that point. Talking about Takeoff and his untimely demise. They didn't give him a chance to even take the chains off. Now, the correlation is this. Takeoff is one person, yes, but you got to understand that this happens a lot. Right? There's a lot of people that get robbed, man. You might know somebody that's been stuck up and robbed, okay? You might know. The savagery that's purported amongst the pop culture and the black community makes sure that the madness continues, right? What do I mean by that? To a certain extent, some people truly don't have any remorse for Takeoff in the situation because he was a rapper as well. And he rapped about doing the same things, right? It's like, dang, how can you really feel bad about? Well, we kind of covered the breakdown of criminal organizations and how I feel about that, and whether I think that you know where I stand about that, and briefly I've kind of said that, hey, the mafia is bad. They look out for their own people, right? You know kind of where I stand on that. But what strikes me about the Takeoff situation, it's more about victim and prey. It's not necessarily about a rapper getting shot. And this is the problem that I think a lot of people are having with this. And this is the problem that I'm having with a lot of people who are commenting like, oh, it's just another rapper that's dead. It's just this, it's just that. It's like, no, it's not necessarily just another rapper it's dead. This is more evidence that it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what status that you have, how much money you have, or how important you might be to millions of people. There's somebody that's laying in the weights, depending on what you might have, depending on what kind of car you drive, depending on what kind of house you live in, or what kind of jewelry you decide to put on, or what kind of shoes you decide to put on, or what kind of iPhone you pull out of your pocket. There might be somebody that's heavily influenced by black pop culture to do something negative or harmful to you because of those materialistic possessions, or to set you up in a victim and prey situation. That's what's more disturbing about this Takeoff situation. The more disturbing factor is that the Takeoff situation has happened to a lot of people in the black community. Maybe they haven't been shot and killed, but they've definitely faced down the pipes of a barrel, right? Growing up in the hood, if you grew up in the hood, I'm sure you can name a couple of sticky situations where you kind of got caught in some interesting situations. That's kind of the nature of how it goes a lot of the time. You have a couple times where you're going to get into some hairy situations where you're not sure if you're going to make it quite out, even if you had nothing to do with anything criminally oriented in your community. You're just living in that environment, and that's just what happens in that environment, right? So, the utter lack of remorse or respect, the victim or the preying, right, on the weak, which is why I advocate for everybody to buy a firearm. I advocate for women to always buy a firearm. Don't just buy a firearm, but be proficient in situational awareness. Be proficient in knowing what's going on around you. If you feel like you need to pull out your firearm, you probably shouldn't be in that situation to begin with. Another big, huge mistake that I see that their security guard and that the Migos made. Aside from going down there extremely underpowered, they didn't leave the situation. They continued to kind of escalate the situation. Now, the situation's interesting because they're speculating, once again, that this is a setup, meaning that if it was a setup, Jay Prince or the Princes or the Juniors or whoever it might have been planning the argument to happen no matter what happened. So the intricate details about this argument are crazy. There's a type of shooting or craps dice shooting or gambling with the dice called basketball. I don't know what the basketball is. I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe it's called something else down here. But a guy had gotten into an incident or into an argument with Quavo, which is Takeoff's nephew, the other half of the Migos, because Offset was with Cardi B after they got into an argument and a whole bunch of stuff. He's not a part of the Migos anymore, right? So they got into an argument with Quavo over this thing, which might have been a fake argument because it was a setup, which a lot of people are thinking. And out of this fake argument presented a legitimate, quote unquote, cover up of a reason to bring guns out and to possibly start firing on the Migos. So if you have an argument or if you stir up an argument, which from what I hear and from what I've read online happens a lot at dice games, niggas get to shooting dice. Next thing you know, they're starting up an argument, or they set up an argument and there's a backdoor guy waiting around the corner in the alley, or that just walks up to the dice game, sprays a certain type of individual that has a certain amount of money on him, and c'est la vie. That's it. Now they make off with all the money in the dice, rinse, wash, and repeat. It's like a well-known fact that you don't want to be at dice games for the most part, right? So it's a super well-known fact. So the Migos decided to go to a dice game hosted by the Princes after they had already gotten killed by Duke the Jeweler. That's why I said I don't know about the Migos, man. The Migos seem to have been moving more like I don't know, just not that smart in my opinion. Like who would in their right mind go mess with some guys that had just got done killing another multi-millionaire black man and Duke the Jeweler? Why would you do that? Why would QC, the label, even let Offset and Quavo go down there by themselves? I didn't see no security or any security. Keep in mind, Takeoff was worth an estimated $26 million by himself. And that's on the low end, in my opinion. I think they're each worth hundreds of millions by themselves because they have the ability to generate hundreds of millions of dollars by themselves. So we have $100 million man. We have $200 million men traveling and going down to Houston by themselves with one guy and a pistol? Migo bans their security guard who has a pistol? Huh? I'm starting to look at the music industry as a whole with a really big, interesting side eye, because as people have speculated, I'm sure that the insurance contract had to be crazy. You sent them down with Migo bands that had a 9mm Glock, and these dudes are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This is the last time that Quavo and Takeoff, if you're watching the screen in the video right now, actually linked up. And on this video, they were smoking. Right, they were linked up, and this is the last interaction that they had. It's on a Instagram profile called RIP Takeoff. I'm not sure what exactly that is. I'm just hoping that this guy decides to play it soon. Maybe he doesn't decide to play it. Give me 1 second. I guess he's not going to play it. He played it at one point, so I'll fast forward. I'll just find that video for you. I thought I was in this one right here, but I guess he doesn't have it here. Anyways, I can describe the video for you because I did watch it. Oh, is this it? No, that's not it. But we can start here. What you're seeing right now, if you can actually watch the screen, is Quavo looking at the shooter. Quavo's looking directly at the guy, and this is the yellow hoodie. This is the guy that shot Takeoff. Quavo was looking directly at the guy that shot his uncle, at the guy that shot Takeoff. Quavo's looking right at him. And still they decided to go ahead and, against their better judgment, that instinctual gut reaction that you have when you know that something's wrong, when you know you shouldn't be messing with this person, when you know you shouldn't be on a date with that guy, when you know you shouldn't be out at this certain time of night, when you know you shouldn't be having these drinks and getting behind the wheel, when you know you shouldn't do something, but you decide to go against that instinctual reaction, that God-given, innate, or that creator-given, or whatever you believe in, Orisha given, ancestral given inclination that says, hey, watch this person. You need to get out of that situation. These dudes didn't listen to it, and they were worth all this money. They were worth so much. There's always somebody watching you, ladies and gentlemen. In this case, they happened to see the people that were watching them, and they made eye contact with them. I'm not going to think or say this is anything deeper than that. I'm not going to get into any Illuminati conspiracies. I watched the reaction of Quavo, and it seemed like it was a really genuine reaction. Dude is shocked. He was shocked. He was shell-shocked from what I could tell in the video. Didn't know what to do. Getting back to this Jay Prince situation, and I'm not going to go back to the Quavo, whatever. I'm sorry, the Jay Prince Instagram. It said that his son, the Jay Prince Sr., and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think that Quavo was actually getting into some kind of argument with Jay Prince Jr., Jay Prince Sr.'s son, or one of them, somebody, right? I think it was. It said that they were arguing with Jay Prince Jr.'s son, and after Takeoff got shot, Jay Prince Jr. or Sr. or one of them stepped over Takeoff's body. Just stepped over his body, right? Once again, this is the shot of the dude in the yellow hoodie who we've been talking about this entire time, Cam the Fifth, or whatever it might be. That's the guy who Quavo was looking at. That's the guy who shot Takeoff. In this description, it says that Quavo's manager actually shot the girl Sydney in the head in response. Panicking. What I saw a commenter saying probably happened is that this guy, the manager, saw yellow hoodie guy pulling out the strap, and yellow hoodie guy had the drop on him, and the manager just started firing before the gun was in the position just because he knew he was beat, and he saw Takeoff get shot right in front of him, and the girl got shot in the head as a result, right? So if the feds and the police end up determining that it was this guy, which we see on camera, we know that it pretty much is this guy. It is this guy. Then he's going to be charged with, in my opinion, 2 murders, because this is such a high-profile case, and because they're going to be able to, and if QC is clean in this, assuming they are, they'll put the money behind Migo bands, lawyer defense, and everything like that to make sure that everything goes okay. Hopefully, Sydney pulls through, the girl who was actually shot in the head from this situation. Hopefully, she pulls through. I'm not sure if she did die. I think she did die. The hospital have removed her tubes. Okay, she's in stable condition. She's in stable condition. Man, she survived a gunshot wound to the head. She's a tough one. Jesus Christ. So she's in stable condition right now. Anyways, if she had died, that would have been the outcome of that situation, right? So QC, I'm questionable on QC. QC, why did you let your $1 million artists go down there by themselves? Why would you let that happen? Why would you let your $100 million investment go down there by themselves to go mess with some Houston cats? I'm from Texas. I could tell you the cats down here are grimy. You have to have a pistol on you at all times. Let me ask another question. Why didn't Takeoff or anybody else have a pistol on them? How are they not having a pistol on them? That doesn't make any sense. You know how it doesn't make any sense? Because Takeoff was the hardest member, or not the hardest, but the tough guy of the group. You've seen, and we've seen his videos. If you're looking at the screen right now, this is Takeoff actually getting arrested for, I don't know, the second or third time for felony weapon possession. So if this was truly a setup, then Jay Prince and the crew and everybody like that and everybody yada, yada, yada would have been, and this is Offset's famous line, stop picking on black folks. This is what he always says apparently when he gets arrested for having guns in the car. Jay Prince and the crew knew that Takeoff wasn't going to be down there because he wasn't on good terms with the Migos. He wasn't on good terms with his cousin. His cousins. Right? So going back to this, there was a rumored story in the dice game that somebody overheard one of the people that are affiliated with the Prince family saying, oh, these boys ain't really like that. Once again, they were prey. You can be a prey no matter who you are, depending on where you are and what time of day or night. It really doesn't matter at this particular moment in time. But overheard was somebody saying, oh, these boys ain't like that. Well, one of them was, he just wasn't there at that particular moment in time. And don't get me wrong, anybody can do anything under the right given circumstances, but certain people definitely do have a lot more of the eye to determine when a situation starts to get hairier or a little sticky. Now, we'll see if they go back and actually take them out of the vehicle this time. Oh, okay, well, they don't take them out of the vehicle this time, so we're not going to see anything on this occasion. Oh, it looks like that was just a stop on him on that time. Okay, he didn't get arrested that time. Shout out to Offset. This is him getting arrested on the other occasion. So to prove the point, man, he got arrested in the Porsche. He got arrested calling Cardi. He said, "Babe, come get me. They're messing with black people." All right. Now Cardi got bands, so Cardi was able to get him out. Right, but. Make no mistake about it, the street muscle of the group was locked down during the time. And you know what? Just for the sake of Offset, we're gonna go ahead and play his jumping into the crowd Super Saiyan Punch video where he jumped into the stage. All right, this is it right here. You know, I already wouldn't be here. This is Offset. You see at the bottom left, kind of nodding his head up and down. It looks like he's connecting with some people. He's pointing at some people. He got the chains on, right? I'm circling him with the mouse. Once again, this was not the Migo that was there with his brothers that night because they were in disagreements. Did they get picked on? We're going to fast forward. Everything is good. He's bobbing. He's right beside Quavo. Quavo's got the fingers in the air. He's feeling it. And Superman right into the crowd. Lord have mercy. Yo.
This is Sparta!
Boom. Look at that. Boom. Without warning.
This is Sparta!
Sound effects are a little off. Boom. By himself. By himself. Everybody stood there stunned for a second, right? Look at this. Yo, people literally stood there for a solid 1 second like, is this nigga really in the crowd fighting? Look at that. Quavo has his mouth down. He's like, oh. Oh. Where were all these Migos, man? He jumped in the crowd. People paused for 1 second like, dang, there he goes. Then they jumped in the crowd behind him. I'm not gonna lie, I just realized something. I'm just realized something. Migos have kind of been moving wrong their entire careers for the most part. I mean, they're traveling. It looked like they had like 4 dudes right there. That's nothing. But they didn't have Offset, so set up victim. So it's just a victim. They just became victims. They became victims because that's what happens when the predators are out seeking for prey. When the predators are out looking for prey, you just hope that you're not a victim, right? I'm gonna show you something, okay? I'm gonna show you something. And this is a pretty. Let me see if I can actually post it. You know what? I might not post it. I might not show it though. I might not show it. Let's take a look at this video. It's another video. It says Breaking J Prince Jr. was arguing with Quavo before it went down. Let's check this out.
Back to Hood Civilian TV, and it's
This is from Hood Civilian TV. Hood Civilian TV. I keep forgetting to give people their damn credit.
and it got heated in a
Okay, so he's pretty much explaining the story. I thought he was going to actually have this the argument right there. But it was apparently J Prince Jr. that was arguing with Quavo. So that means that it was, in my opinion, probably a setup. Once again, they didn't even give Quavo or Takeoff a chance to take off his chains, man. They didn't give him a chance to even take off his chains. And they smoked him. They smoked him. Ooh. I said a long time ago that the next criminal reform wave is going to be huge because people are getting tired of niggas doing nigga-ish. People are getting tired. Niggas are getting tired of niggas doing nigga-ish. People are getting upset and fed up. And they're going to start wanting justice to be had. Like it's they already solved the case online, right? But what you're starting to see happen is like a shift in the culture where people want to start getting the police involved. Like all of a sudden, this case alone made a lot of people who might not have really liked the police really want the police to figure some stuff out or to go arrest people or to go take care of things or whatever it might be. I don't know. Maybe they want get back, but all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, well, we need the police now. You know what I mean? The culture is starting to slowly turn in another direction right now. And that's going to have a few different implications. Like either people are going to get with the new culture that's going forward or they're going to get left behind. I think rap music is always going to be here and rap music is always going to be important. But the culture of the people is definitely starting to shift with the tragic murder, once again, of Takeoff. You know what kind of sucks about this stream is it just got cut off in the middle while I was pretty much on a tangent and a rant. So I'm just going to end it right here. So we'll have 2 short 30-minute videos instead of one extremely long video. We'll take the blessing in disguise, I guess, right? Blessing in disguise. Look at that. Two videos instead of one. I'll be live later tonight. Make sure you join me later tonight. We're going to be talking about just pearly things as well as Kevin Samuels, the Manosphere, and everything like that. But then we're going to end up talking about more hip-hop stuff and hip-hop in the future. So we'll be back in 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. I'm going to chunk my laptop out of a window, donate to the channel so I can buy a new one. All right. I will see you all in the very near future. I love you. Good night. Well, see you soon. Bye.